So I think it's pretty obvious that we saved the best for last. How to get that in there. So basically, I'm Chris Padilla, for the concept called Aurora, as you see in the top right corner. So these are the basic project goals that we set up going into it. The first one being direct and indirect user experience, 2, to regenerate community interest, and 3, to incorporate dynamic form and function. So it all started by looking at this new technology of organic LEDs. And the quick rundown on these is that they're basically very thin and flexible lighting elements that don't require any kind of backlighting at all. And that makes them really two things, really efficient and also very versatile. So upon further study and research, we as a team really saw a huge opportunity to utilize these for a very unique motion graphic, as you see in the series of images I'm about to show you guys. So this first one is really looking at the overall brand identity for our concept, really using things like color and emotion to our advantage. And like a lot of other teams hit on, it's really all about the overall experience. No longer seeing the train as just a service of getting people from point A to point B, but more importantly, how can this affect them on some kind of emotional level and really create that bond between them and the brand. So now if you watch that motion graphic on the screen, it's going to change over to an advertisement. And this is where it gets a little bit more functional for us. Yes, it's Coca-Cola up there. But it really does two functions for us. The first one being pretty obvious is about the money. This amount of revenue produced by such a large-scale advertisement would give us sufficient funds to really provide service for that motion graphic itself and other train maintenance issues as well. But the second one all goes back to the idea of experience too, because this in combination with an actual point of purchase inside the train creates a really nice rhythm from exterior to interior and vice versa. So they really get that whole the holistic brand experience, and it's very consistent and very cohesive as well. So now if you watch the motion graphic again, you really get to the most functional aspect, which is information communication. So for us, it's really all about getting the really important information, such as maps, schedules, any kind of time delays, or anything in that nature. And really a matter of how do you get that from the train to the people in the most direct and interactive manner possible. I've had some experiences in the stations where it's absolute chaos, where you walk in and you're watching the boards, flip down and stuff, and you're trying to see where your train is arriving, what gate it's at. So if it's a bit more interactive and more of an inclusive kind of experience, that's what we're looking at really for the most functional aspect in this train. So now it gets a little more exciting when we're looking at animation here. This was inspired by the older trains of our era that we looked at, and it's really looking at the idea of speed whiskers and what fun we could have with those. So you'll see this pop up. It's sending the pulse of light through the LEDs, and then it jumps up through the logo and every other sequence. Once again, it's all about these little design details that we work in to really draw that user into this entire experience. So, how do we create that emotional connection, and what can this brand mean to them more than just getting it from point A to point B, like I said before. So now we get to this idea of the nighttime setting. And this is really important for our team because we came to the realization that most trains these days are more or less lost in the nighttime setting, where you can't really see their design or their branding, and that is really a big impact in terms of service and whatnot. And the thing we want to stress with our concept is that not only do you maintain that brand image and experience, but it also further enhances itself through the motion graphics, speed whiskers, headlights, among other things. And that's really important for us because, once again, it all goes down to staying consistent and being very cohesive with the brand image. And this also brings up another thing, which came in the first goal, looking at indirect user experience. I'm sure we've all sat at the rail crossing in our car waiting for the train to go by. It's pretty boring and it's not much of an experience at all. But this really begins to really blur the lines of what that can mean for the people in the car. There's some kind of motion graphic going on there that draws you in, whether it's a commercial or some kind of advertisement, whatever it may be. You really redefine what we think of that experience. So now we're going to watch a short animation here. Basically giving you guys a better active visualization of what I've been summarizing here for the presentation, keeping in mind the ideas of form, function, and also the overall experience as well. There was some techno music, and I better cut that out. It's a wise choice, I think. And that's pretty much it. Thanks.